If your back has been hurting more since you turned 60, there is a very good chance the problem is not simply, "I'm old, that's just how it is." And if for years you've been told, "You just have to live with it," then today, this is Dr. Robert Ellis asking you to sit with me for a while, because I want to tell you a different story, a softer story, a truer story. Have you ever heard a doctor or a friend say to you, "Back pain is normal at your age," and then you just went home and tried to accept that answer, even if something inside you felt uneasy about it? Maybe you've even said to yourself, "Well, I've had a good run. This is just the price I pay for getting older." One of my patients, Mark, who is 68, once looked at me and said, "Doctor, I feel like my back is telling me I've passed my expiration date." We both smiled when he said it, but there was a deep sadness in his eyes, because underneath the joke was a belief that his body was somehow broken beyond repair. Here is what I want you to hear very clearly. Yes, your body changes with age. Yes, the discs and joints in your spine can wear down over time. But no, you are not finished. No, you are not helpless. And no, you do not have to just sit and watch your back pain get worse every year. What almost no one explains to you is this: your back isn't just reacting to age, it's reacting to an entire lifetime spent in a world that taught you to sit too much and move too little. A lifetime of long days at work, driving for hours, sitting at desks and in meetings, and then in retirement, maybe sitting even more in front of the TV or computer. A lifetime in a society that quietly trained your spine to be stiff and weak instead of strong and adaptable. Before we go deeper, let me introduce myself properly. My name is Dr. Robert Ellis. I am a physician who specializes in chronic pain and the health of older adults. For many years, I have worked with people in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, helping them understand what is really happening in their bodies, especially in their backs. Today, I do not just want to give you information. I want to give you something that might feel even more important than that. A sense that you still have choices, that you still have some control. Over the next few minutes, here is what I want to share with you. Why your spinal discs and joints tend to age faster after 60. Why sitting a lot and moving less quietly pushes your back toward more pain. And, most importantly, what small, realistic steps you can take to stop feeling like your pain is the one in charge. You might be thinking, "Doctor, I've heard all this before. Exercise is good, sitting is bad. What's new?" The new part is not that movement is good. You already know that. The new part is understanding the simple, real-life mechanisms inside your back so that every time you stand up and take a few steps, you know exactly what you are doing for yourself instead of just doing it because someone told you to. Let's start with something science has shown pretty clearly. When adults spend a lot of time sitting, especially sitting for long, unbroken stretches, they are more likely to have chronic low back pain. It's not just office workers. It includes drivers, people who sit for long periods at home, people who watch a lot of TV, and yes, many retirees. At the same time, almost everyone over 60, if you take an MRI or an X-ray, will show some degree of disc degeneration. The discs lose water, they flatten a bit, and the joints can show wear and tear. That part is common. That part, to some extent, is normal. The surprising part is this. Not everyone with degeneration on a scan has severe pain. Some have stiffness, some have mild discomfort, and some barely notice it at all. So what makes the difference? Why is one person in constant pain, while another person, with a similar-looking spine on a scan, is still out gardening or walking in the park? The answer has a lot to do with how that spine has been used or not used over the years. The answer is that age and degeneration are only part of the story. How much you sit, how you move or don't move, how strong your muscles are, and how you respond emotionally to pain all play a powerful role. If you are still here with me, listening, that tells me something about you. It tells me that you are not just curious about pain. You care about your future. You want more than a label or a prescription. You want to know what you can actually do. And that is exactly where we are going next. I want to shift your focus away from blaming your age. Age is not your enemy. The real enemy, if we can use that word, is the system you've been living in. Think back over your life. How many years did you spend sitting at a desk, in a car, on a couch? How many jobs required you to sit still for long hours? How often did your day make it easy for you to move, stretch, walk, or stand up just because it felt good? Researchers call this the sedentary lifestyle. You and I might call it the way life is these days. Long commutes, office work, computers, streaming shows, smartphones. Even when you retire, the pattern often continues. You worked hard for decades, and resting feels deserved, which it is. But rest slowly becomes hours and hours of sitting, and your spine pays the price. Here is something important. When I talk about a sedentary lifestyle being linked to back pain, I am not blaming you. You did not design the modern world. You did not choose that your job kept you in a chair for years. You did what you had to do to provide, to keep a roof over your head, to support the people you love. The enemy here is not your willpower or your character. It is the environment that made sitting the default position for so much of your life. Many of my patients say things like, "If only I had exercised more when I was younger." Maybe you have said that too. I want you to hear this with kindness. You have been living in a system that quietly pushed you toward moving less, not more. Now that you are over 60, the bill from that system is showing up in your lower back. But a bill is not a life sentence. It is something that can be negotiated. And we are going to talk about how. To help you understand what is happening in your back in a simple way, I started using a phrase with my patients. I call it silent spine deconditioning. It is not a formal disease name you will see in a textbook, but it describes a pattern that I see every single week. Imagine your spine like a bridge. The discs are the cushions between the bones. The joints are the hinges that let you bend and twist. And the muscles around your back and hips are the cables that keep the bridge stable and strong. Over time, those discs naturally lose some fluid and height. The joints show wear. That is the normal aging part. But if the muscles and tissues that support the bridge also weaken because they are not used much, then the bridge starts to wobble. It starts to bear weight in all the wrong places. Silent spine deconditioning is that quiet combination of several things happening together. The normal aging and degeneration of discs and joints, the weakening of the back and glute muscles from years of not being challenged much, tightness in the hips, hamstrings, and even the neck from lots of sitting and very little stretching, and the posture we slip into when we are tired, stressed, or slumped into a soft chair that feels comfortable in the moment but strains the spine over time. It is silent because it does not show up all at once. It builds over years, sometimes decades. Then one day, you bend down to pick up something, or you twist to reach for a bag, or you simply wake up in the morning and try to get out of bed, and your back suddenly screams. In that moment, it feels like the pain came out of nowhere. But in truth, your spine has been trying to cope with a long, slow change for a very long time. Let me tell you about Helen, one of my patients. She is 72. She told me she had no real back issues, just a little stiffness, nothing serious. One morning, she bent down to tie her shoe, and a sharp pain shot across her lower back. From that day on, she started to fear bending at all. She developed a habit of moving like glass, afraid she would break herself. Maybe you recognize a bit of yourself in that story. Maybe you remember a specific day or a specific movement when your own back suddenly became something you were afraid of. As doctors and therapists, we have learned a lot in the past years about what chronic back pain really is, especially in older adults. For a long time, the story was simple and incomplete. Your spine is worn out. That's why you hurt. Now we know that's only one piece. The structure of your spine matters, but so does how strong your muscles are, how much you move or avoid moving, and how your nervous system has learned to react to pain over time. Studies that follow people for years show a connection between sitting a lot and having ongoing back pain. They also show that when we sit or lie down too much, our back muscles weaken, our spine gets stiffer, and our posture changes in ways that make pain more likely. At the same time, many people with very aged-looking spines on scans manage quite well. Some walk every day, travel, garden, dance, and live with only mild discomfort. What does that tell us? It tells us that the picture on the scan is not the whole story. It tells us that how deconditioned your back is, how strong or weak the supporting muscles are, how much or little you move, how flexible or stiff your joints are, can be just as important as what the MRI shows. This is why more and more spine and pain specialists are moving away from the old advice of just rest and don't move for most kinds of chronic back pain. Instead, they encourage people, including those over 60, to reduce long stretches of sitting, to add gentle movements, and to see movement not as a threat, but as a form of medicine. They encourage smarter movement, not no movement. Maybe you were told at some point, stay in bed for a few days. Don't move your back. That advice, for many chronic cases, has changed. Your back does not need you to be frozen. It needs you to move in thoughtful, safe, consistent ways. So the question becomes, where do you start? Especially if you are in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, and you are afraid of making things worse. Let us walk through this step by step, starting from the easiest, lowest impact changes and moving toward the ones that can have the biggest effect over time. First, we start with something that sounds too simple to matter, but it actually matters a great deal. Breaking up long sitting. When you sit for hours without a break, your lower spine holds the same position the entire time. Your discs do not get the gentle pressure changes they need to move fluid in and out. Your core and back muscles are not asked to do much, so they slowly weaken. Your shoulders may round forward, your head may jut out, and your lower back may either overarch or flatten too much. None of this is good for your comfort. Research looking at thousands of adults suggests that a lifestyle with lots of sitting is a risk factor for back problems. That does not mean that every minute of sitting is bad, but it means that spending most of the day in a chair with very few breaks is something your spine does not love. The good news is that the solution does not require a gym membership. It just asks you to stop sitting all at once. With many of my patients over 60, I give them a simple, golden rule. For every 30 to 40 minutes you spend sitting, give your back at least 1 minute of kindness. That kindness can be standing up and walking slowly across the room and back. It can be standing and stretching your arms up toward the ceiling. It can be opening your chest, gently pulling your shoulders back and down, and taking a few deep breaths. It can be doing a slow, small march in place while holding on to a counter. If you typically sit for 6 or 8 hours in a day and you start inserting these 1-minute breaks every half hour or so, you may be giving your spine 10, 12, even 15 little relief moments in a single day. That adds up. It is like watering a plant a little bit, many times, instead of drowning it all at once and then ignoring it. You might pause and ask yourself honestly, how many times today did I stand up just because I chose to, not because I had to go to the bathroom, answer the door, or get something? If the answer is 0, today could be the day you change that. Not with guilt or shame, but with curiosity. What happens if you make it 1? If you are willing, you can even pause this video later and try it. Once you have started breaking up your sitting, the next layer is gently waking up the muscles that support your spine, especially your core and your glutes. When we spend years moving less, not only do our bones and joints age, but the muscle system that is meant to protect and stabilize our spine goes into a kind of quiet retirement. The deep abdominal muscles, the deep back muscles, the muscles in your hips and buttocks begin to weaken. When those muscles are not doing their fair share, your spine has to handle more of the load with less help. That is a recipe for pain. Studies and practical experience tell us that people with chronic back pain often have weaker, less coordinated trunk and hip muscles. But again, the answer is not to turn you into a bodybuilder. The answer is not to throw you into some intense boot camp program. The answer is small, safe, focused movements that help your body remember that those muscles are still needed. Let me tell you about Raymond, who is 74. He proudly told me he walked every day, but his back still bothered him a lot. When I examined him, his glute muscles were quite weak and his hips were stiff. That meant that every step he took, his lower back was doing extra work to compensate. We did not fix that by sending him to a weight room. We started with 2 very simple exercises. The first is seated marching. Sit on a sturdy chair with both feet flat on the floor. Sit tall, as comfortably as you can, with your hands on your thighs or gently holding the sides of the chair. Lift one knee a few inches, as if marching in place, then put it down and lift the other. You do not need to lift high. You just need to feel your core working a bit to keep you steady. Do this for a minute or 2, resting if you need to. The second is standing leg extensions with support. Stand behind a chair, holding onto the back for balance, keeping your body upright, Gently move one leg straight back, keeping your knee straight, only as far as is comfortable. You should feel the muscles in your buttocks engage. Then bring the leg back and switch sides. 8 to 10 times per leg is plenty to start. These are not fancy moves, and you might be tempted to think, that's too easy to make any difference. But remember, the goal at first is not to build big muscles. The goal is to turn the lights back on in muscles that your nervous system has quietly stopped calling on as much. Each small effort is like sending a little reminder to your body. Hey, we still need this. Don't shut it down. If your first reaction is fear, what if I do it wrong? What if I make the pain worse? That's understandable. You have probably been living carefully around your back for a long time. The key is to stay in ranges that feel safe, to move slowly and with control, and to stop if you feel sharp or sudden pain. Comfortably challenged is what we're aiming for. Not misery, not no pain, no gain. Just gentle re-engagement. Now let's talk about something that can make a big difference. Movement snacks. Your spine was not designed to be still all day and then suddenly forced into a big workout once in a while. It was designed to move often, in small ways, throughout the day. When you move, even mildly, your discs get gently compressed and decompressed. That helps fluid shift in and out, keeping them healthier. Your joints get more lubrication. Your muscles and nerves communicate better. Your whole system gets the message that you are alive, active, and capable. Modern guidelines for dealing with chronic back pain increasingly emphasize regular, low-impact movement as one of the best and safest strategies, especially for older adults. But thinking of exercise as this big, intimidating thing can be discouraging. That's why I like the idea of movement snacks. Not a big meal, just small bites. A movement snack might be a 5 to 10 minute walk after each meal, at whatever pace feels comfortable. It might be using TV commercials as a reminder to stand up, walk to the kitchen and back, or to do a couple of gentle sit-to-stand motions from your chair, using your hands on the armrests if needed. It might be standing with your back against the wall once or twice a day, gently pressing your shoulders and head toward the wall, opening your chest and breathing slowly. You might wonder, are these tiny bits of movement really going to change anything for me? For someone in their 20s, maybe not. For someone in their 60s, 70s, or 80s, they often do. Your body at this age is surprisingly responsive to consistent, modest effort. You are not trying to become an athlete. You are building trust with your own spine, step by step. Ask yourself this: if you started today and added just 5 or 10 short movement snacks to your day, a minute here, 2 minutes there, how would your back feel 1 month from now? Would you feel exactly the same as today? Or would you notice that getting out of the chair is a little easier, that your morning stiffness fades a little faster? Underneath all of this talk about discs, muscles, and movement is something much bigger: your independence. Most of my older patients are not just afraid of pain, they are afraid of losing themselves. They are afraid of a future where they cannot get out of bed without help, where they cannot use the bathroom alone, where they cannot pick up their grandchild, carry groceries, or walk from the living room to the front door without fear of falling. Back pain has a way of shrinking your world. It can make you say no to invitations because you are not sure you can sit that long, stand that long, or walk that far. It can make you hesitate to travel, to visit friends, even to go to the store. But the same steps that help ease pain are often the steps that protect your independence. Studies on aging spines show that degeneration can limit movement and cause chronic pain. But they also show that people who stay active within their limits, who keep their muscles working, who keep moving through the world instead of withdrawing from it, tend to maintain better function and quality of life. You have probably seen this with your own eyes. Two people the same age, one still able to get around fairly well, the other stuck mostly in a chair. Their scans might not be that different. Their daily choices often are. Every time you decide to stand up instead of staying seated, every time you take an extra lap through the house, every time you choose to do a gentle stretch before bed, you are casting a vote for the version of you who 5 years from now can still get out of a chair without help, can still live in your own home, can still open the door for someone you love, instead of waiting for them to come to you. I know that thinking about the future can bring up fear. You might be asking, where will I be in 5 years if my back keeps getting worse? What if it's too late to change anything? Let me answer that gently. No, we cannot turn back the clock, but it is rarely too late to influence the direction things are heading. The question is not, can I be 30 again? The question is, can I make my 70-year-old self, my 80-year-old self, a little more comfortable, a little more capable, a little more free, because of the choices I start making today? This brings us to something deeply personal, how you see yourself. Over the years, I have learned that the way my patients think about their bodies and their age can either support their healing or quietly sabotage it. I hear a lot of sentences that begin with, "I'm old, so," and end with, "What's the point?" or "I can't do anything about it now." But when I look at you, or at the people I meet in my clinic, I don't see a broken old body. I see someone who has lived through decades of change, who has raised children, worked hard, survived loss, learned hard lessons. I see someone who has spent a lifetime putting others first. The irony is that in these later years, when your body finally needs gentle attention, you might not be used to giving that attention to yourself without feeling guilty. This video is not about turning you into a fitness fanatic. It is not about six-pack abs, marathons, or gym selfies. It is about a different kind of identity, the identity of a person who values their future self enough to make small, caring choices today. The identity of someone who says, "I may not be young, but I am not done." So, let me ask you, have you ever sat there with your back hurting and thought, "I'm weak now. I used to be so strong"? If that sounds familiar, I want to invite you to try a new question. Instead of asking, "Am I as strong as I was at 30?" ask, "What small thing can I do today that my 80-year-old self will thank me for?" Maybe that small thing is standing up one extra time. Maybe it is taking a short walk instead of watching one more TV episode. Maybe it is doing that little seated march or that gentle leg extension while holding on to a chair. None of those things are dramatic. No one will applaud you, but you will know. You will know that you showed up for yourself. If you are still listening now, there is something else I know about you. You care. You are not indifferent to your pain. You are not indifferent to your future. You are willing to spend time understanding your body instead of just numbing it or ignoring it. That already makes you different from many people who have simply given up. I cannot promise you that your back pain will vanish tomorrow. I cannot promise that your spine will stop aging. But I can tell you, from years of watching people just like you, that bodies in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s are often far more adaptable than we give them credit for. Pain can lessen, stiffness can ease, strength can return, slowly. Confidence can grow again. Not through magic, but through steady, gentle, meaningful action. If something in this conversation has resonated with you, if it has made you think, maybe I am not as powerless as I thought, then I want to invite you to do 3 small things. First, when this video ends, do not just click away and stay seated. Stand up. Walk gently around your room for a minute or 2. Let your spine feel that you intend to care for it differently from now on. Second, if you would like to keep learning about simple, safe ways to reduce pain and stay independent after 60, consider subscribing to this channel and giving this video a like. It helps this kind of information reach more people who quietly need it, just like you. Third, think of one person in your life, a friend, a sibling, a neighbor, who is also struggling with back pain. Share this video with them. You never know. It might be the first step of a new chapter for them too. In upcoming videos, I, Dr. Robert Ellis, will walk with you through gentle, specific exercises you can do at home without special equipment. We will talk about how your mood, your sleep, and your stress can interact with your pain and how to soften that cycle. I will share more stories of real people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who found ways to feel a little better, move a little easier, and reclaim pieces of their lives they thought were gone. Before we say goodbye for now, I want to leave you with a question to carry with you into tomorrow. Will you let your back pain define who you are? Or will you let your small, steady steps, your decision to stand, to move, to care for yourself, define the rest of your life? Thank you for spending this time with me today. You are not alone in this. Your back may be tired, but it is still yours. And with a little patience and a little kindness toward yourself, it can still walk many more miles with you.